Bizarre moment disrupted the House vote tonight when a stenographer was dragged off the floor. She had managed to make it up to the Speaker's chair and went on a rant that lasted about half a minute. We're learning more now about all of that. Our chief congressional correspondent, Mike Emanuel, is live from the Capitol. Mike?
Well, good morning, Megan. Following the outburst, the woman was interviewed by U.S. Capitol Police and then taken to a Washington area hospital for a mental health evaluation. Her name is Diane Reedy and is well known to House lawmakers as one of the stenographers who regularly works on the House of Representatives floor. We're told she walked up to the podium below the presiding officer and asked if the microphones were on. She then began saying things like, "Thus spoke the Lord," and "This is not the Lord's work."
The Constitution would not have been written by Freemasons. They go against God. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters. Praise be to God, Lord Jesus Christ.
Congresswoman Ileana Ros-Lehtinen, who was presiding at the time, then hammered the gavel and tried to quiet her. Reedy then said something about the devil. Ros-Lehtinen called it sudden, confusing, and heartbreaking, and noted that this woman is typically a gentle soul. This was a moment late night on a big night here on Capitol Hill that genuinely seemed to stun lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. Megan?
All right, Mike, thank you. Joining me now, Chad Pergram. He's our Fox News senior Capitol Hill producer. He was there seconds after this happened and spoke with some of the members who watched it unfold. So it sounds like a sad incident. It sounds like this person may have had some sort of a mental health episode, whereas she, had never been prone to that in the past, from the sound of it, Chad.
Right. I know her, and I've talked to her many times over the years. There were a lot of references about God, during her rant from the dais, and when they pulled her out into the hall there and tried to take her down the elevator. She's very religious, and people were very concerned here. There's a lot of people here on Capitol Hill who talk with her. She always has a smiling disposition. And, we see a lot of strange things on Capitol Hill. It's not strange that we see a protest outside the Capitol. Once in a while, there's a protest inside the House chamber. But to have a protest in the middle of such a big vote, as the vote was coming to a close, and no less for it to be someone who works here, I don't think I've ever seen that in all the years that I've covered Capitol Hill. And that's what was so confusing, and especially to have somebody run up to the dais. Remember, this is the very place where the president speaks when he comes to Capitol Hill to deliver the State of the Union.
Right. You have to ask about the security measures, and only the ones that are made public, but is there a screening process that these people have to go through, those people who we entrust to work so close to our lawmakers?
Yeah, I've never heard of anything concrete like that when it comes to an issue like that, but they do have U.S. Capitol Police in the Speaker's lobby and in the chamber, plainclothes persons. There are also persons from the Sergeant-at-Arms office who come, and if you look at the video there, the first person to get to her was the House parliamentarian, Tom Wickham, who just happened to be up on the chamber, and then there were two other chamber security personnel who came from both the left and the right, who eventually ushered her out. Those are the people who, are asked to keep order in the House chamber. We've had them even take House members out. A few years ago, Bobby Rush, a congressman from Illinois, came to the House floor and put on a hoodie, and they removed him during his speech because that wasn't in the decorum of the House. And those are the same people who ushered out the stenographer.
What were the
tonight.
lawmakers saying in reaction?
I tell you, people were absolutely stunned. Steny Hoyer, the minority whip from Maryland, just had a look of shock on his face. Other people were scratching their heads and saying, that we know her. They were very concerned about her. And I think that was one of the other things. The Capitol Hill is a small community. It's almost like a small town. And everybody knows each other, and you see each other every morning and you talk. The members, the lawmakers, the journalists, the aides, the stenographers. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I've talked to her over the years. And that's why everybody's so shocked, And again, to punctuate this on a night like tonight in the middle of such a big vote, it's really just bizarre. That's the only word for it, Megan.
As much of this process has been. Chad, thank you very much. We wish her all the best in the road ahead.
Mike, there was a really strange moment as that vote was coming to an end with the House stenographer getting up to the microphones. Let's take a listen to this, first of all.
Sure.
Order.
Now, she works for the House, right?
Guard Brett, both Steny Hoyer, the leading Democrat, and Ileana Ros-Lehtinen, the Republican who was in the Speaker's chair at that time, because she's a stenographer who works regularly on the floor. Ileana Ros-Lehtinen described her as normally a very gentle soul, and so it really shocked everybody when things are done by the book on the floor of the House, and suddenly there was this outburst at a critical time with this vote tonight.
Yeah, very strange. Mike, thank you. She said, "Thus spoke the Lord, and this is not the Lord's work," is what she said at the microphones.